Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And I'm finishing off my ryegrass, Kentucky bluegrass, Bermuda overseed on my Bermuda warm season turf front yard at the shop. This right here is a granular humate. I've had a bunch of folks ask me about granular humates, and so I've got one I've been messing around with a little bit, and we'll see what happens for next year. And no, it's not the one you think it is. So I haven't ran my irrigation in so long out here. Let's see if it still works. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm running this let's see, what am I running it? 7, 9, 11 a.m., 1, 3, and 5 p.m. for 5 minutes a zone. So that's keeping the seed moist. I'm in and out of here every day, so I can come out here and touch the ground, make sure it's staying moist. If it's not, I'll increase. If it is, if it's getting a little too wet, I'll back off. I left the house today and was headed to the shop, and I know in another video I said I wasn't going to do anything extra but just put the seed down, and I got to thinking, I was really on the fence. Do I cover it with something or do I just leave it as it is? And I got to the intersection and I made a left instead of a right, so I went to Lowe's, grabbed 25 bales of peat moss, spread it out over everything just for a little bit of security. I get asked if peat moss is a necessity for covering grass seed. No, it absolutely is not. We seed hundreds of yards every fall, and pretty much none of them get a top dressing with peat moss, and they do fine. It's kind of an overkill type situation, going above and beyond, taking the extra step, running the extra mile, however you want to say it, to ensure success. And basically all it's there for is to help hold a little moisture in the ground and kind of hold the seed in place. That's really the only thing it does. It adds a little bit of seed to soil contact to where you sandwich the grass seed between the ground and another layer of a dirt type material on top of it, and so you just increase your chances, and then again at the same time it's not necessary. So it's one of those type deals. So it turned out real good. Super pumped to see what this looks like in 2 weeks. You can see I've got a line right down the middle right here where we sectioned it off. This is Kentucky bluegrass, overseeded Kentucky bluegrass into Bermuda. This side over here is overseeded perennial rye into Bermuda. It's all Bermuda grass. This is my permanent yard that I'm going to have forever and ever and ever till Jesus comes back. It will always be Bermuda. One of the downfalls to Bermuda is it goes dormant in the winter, shuts down, quits growing, turns brown like a paper sack. I can't stand it, drives me up a dang wall. That is the one complaint I have about Bermuda, is that whole dormant thing. You know, if it didn't go dormant, it'd be a grade A turf in my book. With that said, during the summertime, it is a grade A turf in my book. It's super duper resilient for heat. It spreads by rhizome and stolon, repairs itself is what I'm getting at. And oh, by the way, I'm loaded up. We're gonna love on my neighbor. You know, we done some testing with the DIY Spray Buddy for spraying herbicides and some things like that, which worked great, by the way. And we're gonna love on him a little bit. You know, I loved on my other neighbor, so we're gonna love on another neighbor. We're gonna go aerate and seed their yard here in a minute, and I'll film that. That'll be for a different video. Right here, we're talking Bermuda and overseeding. Let me say this, it ain't for everybody, right? Some of you watching that have Bermuda, you're gonna be like, man, that's a whole lot of trouble, a whole lot of work, extra money, extra mowing, extra time, all kind of extra stuff. Let me get out of the way. I don't wanna get wet. It's a little bit cool today. It's a whole lot of extra work, time, money, all that kind of thing, and you just don't want to do it. And some people like the break during the fall, winter, and early spring that you get with Bermuda. Completely fine. I'm not in any way trying to convince anybody that they should always overseed their Bermuda with rye or try to create a bluegrass Bermuda mix. I'm not trying to get you to do that. I'm just showing you how in case you ever wanted to. I also like to be real clear about the ins and outs of it, right? This is more expensive to do it this way, because I'm essentially growing two different grasses in the same plot of land right here in two different time frames during the year. We're middle of September, so starting now all the way up until say the end of April, I'm managing this as a cool season yard. That's what I'm doing. And then when we get into beginning of May, all the way up to September the following year, I'm managing it as a Bermuda yard. So I've got two different things going on here on the same yard at one time. So obviously it's going to take up more time. It's going to cost me more to do that. It's going to be more involved. There's more risk involved. There's all kinds of things you can throw in that bucket. There's a lot of you that actually overseed with your Bermuda with ryegrass on a consistent basis. You're probably thinking along the same lines I am. I don't want to look at brown grass. I want to mow something green during the fall and spring and a little bit during the winter. It's not going to grow all that much during the winter, but it will a little bit. Now the title may have sounded a little deceiving, and I didn't mean it to sound like that. I meant it to be straightforward and to a point. How to have a green yard all year. Well, this is one way to have a green yard all year. Is I have the Bermuda in the summer, and then I revert over to a cool season during the winter, and it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing rotation. Bermuda, rye, Bermuda, rye, Bermuda, rye, and ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. The other way is obviously with having a cool season yard from start to finish. Like my yard at my house is tall fescue, it has a little bit of bluegrass mixed in it, and it stays green the majority of the year. The only time I might lose a little color is in the dead of winter, right? When it's super frigid cold, which we don't get that here often, but we can get it, and you may lose some of that color. It's completely normal, but overall it's still green. I'm talking about green versus brown, right? And the brown I'm talking about is the brown that you get from a dormant Bermuda grass. That's the brown I'm talking about when I say that. Now some of you guys that way up north and you got Kentucky bluegrass or rye or whatever, you may actually experience some of that brown yard even during the winter, because it just gets so cold up there. You go so dormant that it's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is, right? And vice versa, if you've got cool season turf in the heat of summer, it can go brown and go dormant, right? It is what it is. The way you compensate for that is the way you feed it and the way you water it, right? All that's in my cool season guide. If you're interested, it's in the description below. But this right here is just another way to skin the cat, right? I got the best that warm season can offer, in my opinion. I know you zoysia and St. Augustine and paspalum and then that kooky moo grass or whatever that stuff was. I know y'all probably disagree with me, but my opinion, I think Bermuda is the best of the warm season grasses. That's what I think, because I have a Bermuda front yard. That's probably why I think that, right? And then when it comes to cool season turf, I'm not going to call rye or bluegrass the best, because you know I'm a fescue boy at heart. But in this case, it's the easiest for me to overseed it into Bermuda. Ryegrass being the absolute easiest to overseed Bermuda. So I'm super pumped and excited to see what this side does versus this side. And what we're going to do is when we get over here with the Bermuda, the blue Muda, we're going to leave this permanently. We're going to leave this side right here alone. We're going to work on it next year. I'm not going to kill off the Kentucky blue, but now the ryegrass next spring, we are going to kill it off. We're all going to smoke the rye off and wake the Bermuda. And so that way all year next year, we'll get to look at what bluegrass and Bermuda looks mixed together and see how well that works throughout the course of an entire season. And then on this side, you get to see the kill off process and how to take out the rye and how to pump the Bermuda back up and get it to fill back in and all that kind of cool thing. You know, I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. I absolutely love lawn care. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. There ain't but a few things that I love more than lawn care. Number one is the Lord God Almighty, Jesus, because first and foremost, he saved my soul from the devil's hell. And I'm gonna tell you what, I owe him everything. My life is his. Man, my wife, oh boy. You talking about a supporter and someone who respects me and helps to raise our children in a godly way. Boy, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for my wife, I could not do what I do. She is that critical to me being successful, to us being successful, not only in a marriage, but in a business. My family, my kids, man, I love my kids. They're patient with me. They put up with my crap and know that daddy's out here making videos and making a living to put food on the table. And they're very patient kids and they're understanding. Man, I'm telling you, I love my family. I love my family. So hey, give it about maybe 4 or 5 days right here on the rye. And over here, you're probably looking at about 7 to 9 days on the bluegrass, the Bermuda, Kentucky bluegrass. So we'll see how all this plays out. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what it looks like. I can't wait to mow it. So that's gonna be really fun. So hey, I appreciate you watching. I'm gonna burn the road up and go plug my neighbor's yard and put some grass seed on it. I'll check you later.